And we're live.
This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what it is.
The control system, the global control system, wants us to focus on a dot. It's what it does in science with its specializations. You focus on one dot. And if you focus on a dot without peripheral vision, then you don't see how the dots connect. So you're completely in the dark of the bigger picture. You only see one dot within it.
The world is a lie. Nothing is real. The world is a lie. There is nothing I can feel. Mama didn't tell me that the world is unreal. Imaginary story lies and unreal. Into the lies and the truth and fairy tale lies not the prince of Wales. I never get told what is real and true. That's why I put truth out of the blue. Never really did. No one really cares that our heart did hurt. This world is a lie. Nothing is real. This world is a lie. There is nothing I can feel. This world is a lie. Nothing is real. This world is a lie. There is nothing I can feel. Nothing in the world can really exist. In universe, reality and twist. Recognition and fear might be hold up that the world is a small. So many things that world is the earth. When we run the lies they told in this world. No one really cares. No one really cares when our heart get hurt. This world is a lie. Nothing is real. This world is a lie. There is nothing I can feel. This world is a lie. There's nothing is real. This world is a lie. There is nothing I can feel. This world is a lie. Nothing is real. This world is a lie. There is nothing I can feel. This world is a lie. Nothing is real. This world is a lie. Nothing I can feel. This world is a lie. Nothing is real. This world is a lie. Nothing I can feel. This world is a lie. Nothing is real. This world is a lie. There is nothing I can feel. Merci beaucoup. Merci.
The control system, the global control system, wants us to focus on a dot. It's what it does in science with its specializations. You focus on one dot. And if you focus on a dot without peripheral vision, then you don't see how the dots connect. So you're completely in the dark of the bigger picture. You only see one dot within it.
This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Connecting the Dots with myself and Richard Lopez. Today is Friday, the 21st of September, and we are joined with John Smith Globeli and Gary John. We've got John Smith Globeli with us today because, as you know, We're having problems, issues on the roads. By no means has the tour come to a halt. It's just been delayed for a bit. And we've also got Gary John to add some input into us connecting the dots. I'm going to welcome you all, Richard, Harry, Gary. Harry and Gary. It sounds like a little saying, doesn't it? Harry, Gary. You all right?
Hi, Roxanne, Richie.
Hi, everyone.
What's going on?
Thank you very much for inviting me back.
Absolutely.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Harry, I've got a good few things I want to talk to you about, as you, Gary. And I know you have a good few questions as well, Richard. But before we get into anything, guys, we've got some interesting bits and pieces we want to bring up. We've had some good mainstream media this week, and we've had some absolute Disney media this week. Yeah. I want to let you guys know we've had some really good coverage from the mainstream media in the UK regarding the Global Tour. And, you know, that with a lot of other, you know, I think we can be safe to say, Richard, we've created quite a bit of awareness with the Global Tour this week, man. Wouldn't you think?
Absolutely.
Spread the word in a different way, man. We really have, Harry. I want you to know we've been out there shouting it from the rooftops and letting everybody know what's going on in England.
I know you and Richie are doing an absolutely fantastic job. I just can't believe how much attention you're getting from both of your hard work. So thank you very much for both of you.
Absolutely, Harry. You already know, buddy. You already know. It's a team effort, man. You can't do it by yourself, Harry.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
It's still flat and motionless over here as well.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah.
That's a coincidence. Just exactly the same.
Yeah, great conversation today as well. I heard that you spent a lot of time with those young teenagers, and I think you know, it looked like something started to sink in after a while.
Yeah. I mean, I hear comments where understandably, oh, it's lost with them, wasting their time, but I never think it's wasted, no matter how long I spend with somebody, or even how resistant they are to the end. I never think it's wasted. I always think there's something there that wasn't there before that they're going to think about. So, and that, as we all know, the second time somebody speaks to them, or the third time, or the fourth, they think, oh, I'm going to have a look at this because I'm hearing it everywhere.
You managed to get out there today, didn't you? You managed to get out there in Penzance, admittedly with a little bit of a technical glitch. The technical glitch was, can I put the disclaimer out to everybody?
I was going to apologise first for it. So,
No, don't. I should apologise because I should have signed out, right? So when Harry was in London last time, we went to Hyde Park. And if any of you were tuned into my live feed, you would notice that a guy lunged for me, tried to take my phone and go for me. What everyone didn't know was, well, if you were watching the live feed, you would have known because I explained to you all, that wasn't even my phone I was holding. It was Harry's phone. Okay, so I was signed in to Harry's YouTube, my YouTube on Harry's phone, streaming from Harry's phone. Now, what Roxanne didn't think to do was sign out of the YouTube on Harry's phone when Roxanne gave Harry his phone back. So when Harry went live from Penzance today, I'm like, I said to Richard, Richard, why is something uploaded to, how is Harry's content uploaded to my channel? I'm thinking, well, whatever magic glitch was that well done YouTube. We've got 2 Penzances. And I realized it wasn't on Harry's channel. And the penny dropped and I went, Harry, I'm really sorry. So I'm really sorry about that, Harry. It didn't get uploaded to your channel, but by default, it got uploaded to mine. So I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Really not complaining.
I never went live stream before, and watching JP do so well, I should have been taking more note. But I had the back of the camera towards me, so I couldn't see what I was looking at. Because I forgot to switch the camera angle. So I'm just guessing. Actually, halfway through, I said, "Where's the lens in front of this phone? To the right or to the left?" Oh, bugger up! It's too late now, anyway. So, hence, you get a couple of heads being chopped off, and I absolutely hate that.
My lives as well. I'm sure people get like that view and side views. I've messed up a good few times. It's difficult when you're live. There's nothing to edit because you're live. So there is times where you're holding the phone down like that and you don't realize you're holding the phone like that because it's a phone you're holding, not a camera. I have that issue all the time. One thing to be standing there like that But then when someone's talking to you, they see a phone in their face. So the first thing you do, just out of respect, is you pull the phone back because it's clearly not a camera. I don't know if it's psychological, if we do it subconsciously, but I definitely do. And people seem to have much more of a problem with a phone being put in their face than a professional camera. As soon as people see a professional camera, it's like, oh, am I being filmed yet? Okay, cool.
You know what I find out that works? Tell them and say, hey, you mind, you know, I have a YouTube channel. You mind if I ask you a couple of questions? And a lot of times they'll say, yeah. So, you know, with them knowing that, I found that actually works. But yeah, you're right. People are like, yo, what the hell? You know, why is there a phone in my face?
Well, I just want to say, Harry, you did an awesome job. If that was your first ever time streaming from a mobile phone on a live, I think you did great. You got an hour's worth of content for your first try, and you'd never done it before. So I think well done you. Round of applause to you.
It was a good conversation too, Roxanne. You really those girls were tough, man.
They were.
Tell me about it. Yes, yeah.
Hard work, man.
What intrigues me though about young people like that their devotion to authority in the government is unwaning, and they will not hear anything else. And it's to me, without being offensive to the girls, that is total brainwashing. It's like if you went to members of a cult and you tried to suggest that they're in a cult and being brainwashed, they'll immediately be defensive and even attack. And the girls would respond so quickly and so passionately and repeat. Now, to me, that is classic brainwashing. You know, it's quite frightening, really. You know, and to believe that they think the government are telling the truth and that the government are there for them is, I find that very sad that people think that. But
It is. That's what it is. It's because they're in the indoctrination centers, though, isn't it? They're in the indoctrination center. So for them, they think they're speaking the truth because it's just being taught to them. And when they're fully asleep like that, it's fresh. It's literally just been told to them last week, last month, last year. So they're spouting it off like it's.
Yeah, and if you notice with people that brainwashed, when you push them for some proof, they get angry or they get louder and they get frustrated because they can't provide that proof.
Yeah, it is. It's the case. Even Jessica says that as well. When she's talking to other teenagers, they put up all of these invisible picket fences that she like enjoys picking down one by one. It's like she homes into a particular section of the picket fence and goes, which way will I destroy this for you? Do you want me to do it the nice way, or shall I just give you? And she does normally use that saying. She says, do you want the truth or a comforting answer? What do you want? What do you really want? Do you want me to be real with you, or do you want me to just tell you what you want to hear?
Unfortunately, it's the second for most people. They don't want to be. They don't want to be disturbed.
Yeah.
And you have to be disturbed, don't you? You have to be disturbed to wake up.
You do, Gary. If you can hear what we're saying, what do you feel about that, Gary? If you're
can you hear me? Okay.
We can hear you fine.
Yeah, I can't. I was trying to get hold of Sarah. I lost video, so you can probably, as long as you can see me and hear me, that's fine. Yeah, I think a lot of people just like to stick with their existing paradigm. They do not want to have their world rocked. We should all have a chance to actually look at something and actually think, okay, I need to look into this more detail. You need to look at if you feel that you hear a little bit of information that's enough, or you need to research it a little bit more in depth. But I find that a lot of people I've come across are just literally so close-minded that they, not many get angry, but some have got angry, but a lot of them just cannot. They just look at it as if they just think that you're an idiot, really.
Like bonkers. Or some people say they think we've all lost our edge.
Well, yeah, they think that we're idiots, but at the same time, I say to them, okay, great, I'd love to hear your research. And they say, well, I haven't done any research. I said, oh, but the way you're talking to me, you clearly have done research. And what you're trying to do, you're trying to almost call them an idiot without calling them an idiot, because they haven't, in their eyes, they haven't done anything wrong, and what they haven't done is anything. They've accepted what they've been sold all these years, which basically we all were party to that over the years.
Yeah.
But can I just mention that, Roxanne? The minute I actually saw Mark Sargent's video, flat Earth clues, I thought, wow, okay, there's more to this than meets the eye. And at the end, either at the end of the video or en route, I thought, I'm a flat earther.
There you go.
It wasn't a debate for me at the end. It was, I'm a flat earther. I didn't understand it. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. And one thing I wanted to say is also, you're talking about cameras and phones in your faces. When I went to the ITV interview, I had 5, I don't know if you want to call them industrial, but broadcasting sized cameras. And it's like, you're looking in there and you think, wow. I mean, each camera is literally about a meter long, maybe a meter, 1.2 meters long, about, I don't know, 0.5 of a meter wide, and literally almost two meters high. I mean, it was quite amazing to see 5 of them, and you know they're all aimed at you. And yeah, it was a bit different.
Like I said, I noticed when people get professional cameras out, it is different. It is different. We all, I think Harry and Gary, you witnessed it at Speaker's Corner. The bigger the camera setup, the bigger the crowd went around the camera. It was like, it was so obvious. So obvious. The ones that were on the tripods with the big boom mics on them, it was like all the guy had to do was set up the camera and the crowd just went and flopped around the camera. And before you know it, they were having conversations about everything under the stars.
Didn't you find, though, Roxanne, when we were there was a hell of a lot, and you've obviously seen it since when you've been there, there's a lot of preaching going on. You know, almost, and I don't mean preaching as in just literally just religious sermon preaching, but they literally get up on their soapbox and they just literally think they're just going to raise their voice, they're going to start shouting, and they're basically doing it in such a way that, as far as they're concerned, you should just listen because they're shouting. And I didn't necessarily like that.
Well, they've had recent incidents, just I think last week, where Tan got escorted out the park by the police. They stopped a bus, put him on for his own safety. He was in there hurling racial abuse at the Muslims and other communities up in the park. And you know, there's a lot of definitely the one thing I think Harry can agree with as well. Since we went on the 24th of June to now, the heat in there has escalated to like a gas mark 8. If gas mark 2 when we went the first time. Even the last time we were there, Harry, we said it. We said that the atmosphere here is changing. Like, people are getting more aggressive and brave to do things that you know is out of order for them to do.
But what's made that happen, though, Roxanne? What do you think is the catalyst?
I personally think the powers that be don't want certain truths being spoken about there, so they're trying to engineer a situation to stop people speaking truth there.
So you think that since the end of June, when we all met there,
I think they're trying to create an event so that they can stop people from doing what they're doing there. Simple as. I don't think in 6 months' time we're going to be able to go to Speaker's Corner anymore and do what we're doing.
Or make people fearful of going there in case that might happen.
Well, I think right now what they're trying to do is that, and if that fails, they're just going to up it a couple of notches and make something happen so a law has to be changed off of the back of it, which is what keeps happening. They do things so that laws can be changed off of the back of it that change our freedoms and our rights.
So can I ask you, Roxanne, do you think this is something that's actually quite unique now, or do you think that every so often a party or a group get closed down, and it just happens to be that when we went there in June, it's just a passive environment, and now it's starting to up the ante?
Well, I think when they know something is not going to get anywhere, like, think about it. Like, if you look at the content from Speaker's Corner, there's guys that have been talking the same conversations there for about 5 years. We should have known what time it was when people told us on week 2, this is a breath of fresh air and we could do more of this. Don't have anything like this here very often. Once we realized that we were activating people 2 weeks later that were coming back, and Harry, you can speak for this yourself. You've spoken to people, those allegedly Dave, so's Dave Mantle. Yeah, we've all spoken to people that within a month, they're standing on the banners with us. And they come from all creeds, all backgrounds, all international backgrounds. Some of them don't even speak English as their first language, and they've started to activate with us. Yeah. So I think if you were the powers that be and you don't really want the truth getting anywhere too tough in the capital city, you're going to look at that and go, right, people, we have a problem. If this goes in with any rate if this escalates with any rate at all, in 6 months' time, half of these people in the park are going to be talking about flat Earth. Now, that's not a good thing for them.
Especially when you get different cultures joining us, and Dave Manuel from South Africa, and then the marvelous Victor from America came over. It was just explosive.
And by the way, I reached out to Victor. Victor said he's gonna look at his schedule, and he's looking to come on the hangout with us. Victor's a learned individual. He's a quantum physicist, and
just for those who never seen Victor, he's just an amazing speaker, and his energy, just fantastic energy. And as you said, Roxanne, but he's also a pilot as well. And
week we were there that week.
Yeah. He was just so passionate.
Remember the guy we're talking about? Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, I was talking to a young girl actually who seemed to be quite passionate, and she was there with her family. And all of a sudden, if this is the guy I'm thinking that it is, and I believe from what you're saying that it is, that all of a sudden he jumped in, he said, "Yeah, what Gary's saying is exactly right." And all of a sudden, he just went on to another layer and another level. Yeah. And I just stood back and just watched because he seemed to know so much. I must admit, I think his delivery is interesting. I think that can sometimes affect certain people, but his content and his knowledge is quite extreme.
You brought him over to introduce to me, Gary.
I did, didn't I? Yeah.
I was so impressed by him. It's just energy was amazing.
And it's the way he came out of nowhere, didn't he? Didn't he say something like he wasn't even planning to come to the park and he had to catch his flight in a couple of hours, and he felt like it was his destiny that he was supposed to come across our path? He says, "I know why I'm here now. I was here to do this."
Yeah, but also, though, Roxanne, what he also said.
Watch the football, Gary, because you went and watched the football quickly, didn't you?
I did a little bit, yeah.
He mentioned the football's on. What am I even doing in the park? He said, "I shouldn't even be in the park right now. I should be watching the football, but I'm here."
I can add a little bit more to what that happened there, though. He said that he was kind of trying to not get too involved because he had got involved so much in the past that he was trying to curtail his like enthusiasm, but then he couldn't curtail it because he just got carried away with it. So he tried to shackle himself, and he failed. So, he's got a lot of energy.
Whose idea was it for the group picture? Because thanks to that idea, we got him in the picture with us. Victor's in that picture with us. He stood beside. I think he stood quite near in the middle. Anyway, he's in that picture.
I would have to say that was my idea, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, round of applause to you then, Gary, because I'm telling you what, that picture was somewhat monumental. I look back at that picture now and I think to myself, wow, there's a lot of us that just activated out there, and we all did it together. And
well, it was a special day, though, wasn't it? There's a lot of people there. I think in that picture there's loads more people that were not actually in that picture because they come and went. But it was brilliant, and I just felt that it was enough. Thing is, when I was at the convention, I really regretted that I didn't do something like that, and afterwards I was kicking myself. So I didn't want to repeat that when I was at the convention and when we were at the speaker's corner, and when Katie and I had a long day and we had to get back. I just thought, well, I'd just rather just grab the moment if you guys didn't mind.
Well done. I can safely vouch for about a dozen people that weren't in that picture. Single-handedly, I can vouch for 12 people that weren't in that picture. So I'm assuming there was probably about 20, 25 people that could have been in that picture that weren't in that picture. So that picture's missing about 20 odd individuals. Could have been a lot bigger. You're right. Definitely, when there's a large group of people telling the truth to people, a group photo is a must. These milestones have to be recorded because normally it's the winners that write the history books, and it's not happening this time. These elites are not going to be writing history books for our generation. It's not happening. It's not happening. Not while I'm alive, anyway. I'll tell you that much.
Well said.
It's not happening. While we're on the subject, Rich, I don't know if you want to share those articles, because there is something I want to ask these two that I feel is quite important. We're all having this conversation based off of the fact that we know we're not on the ball. Yeah, we all know we're not on the ball. So in your words, guys, Gary and Harry, doesn't matter what way I say it around, it sounds just as funny. What would you say the three most important truths are that we should be talking about right now, other than the fact that we don't live on a spinning ball?
Well, for me, number one is water. And the same as you with distant land, with water, or with high level, I actually get quite frustrated. I say, look, there's no curvature, there's no bendy water. You're not going to see it anywhere. Okay? people try to say they have, but we have no proof of it.
Mm. Oh, I don't know what just happened there. No, it's all right. I think the internet just stopped for a second. Gary, what would you say yours is?
Well, I think apart from obviously what Harry said, you know, it's like how close like the sun is. Like when you see like coming through the clouds, or you see, you know, for me, I think that one of the big ones, even though it doesn't actually demonstrate initially that the flat Earth, but the stars, and how that, you know, everything is just basically stationary over a period of a year. Nothing really changes, and it's just and the joke of the moon, the fact that we only ever see one face forever. And I know that doesn't demonstrate initially, like I say, flat Earth, but when you weigh it all up, when you look at all the evidence, you just realize that there's just so much rubbish that we've been sold. And yeah, so the typical, like Harry said about the curvature and the water and everything else. But I just when you see the bigger, or the additional parts, and it just I just think it's you know, this, you know, you know, when you get some people in the reverse argument, they say, well, if it was flat, you'd be able to see America from England and stuff like that, and you just. And when you actually see some of their arguments, you actually realise how ridiculous it is. And when you then really think about it, I mean, somebody was saying the other day, and I was trying to think what it was about, that when you have like the Earth is meant to be spinning, and then you got the wind that was obviously going to be spinning with it. If you literally just put your hand up in any direction, you blow gently, you will feel movement. But then how would you have that if the wind is going the opposite direction to you, because, you know, because the Earth is spinning? When you start really thinking about little things like that, you realize how ridiculous that people's arguments are.
Exactly. With that being said, when you have conversations with people, whether it's, you know, a one-on-one personal conversation that you're having with someone, when you come across them, or you know, if you are part of a group activism, what is the first thing that you bring up when you talk to people about it, Gary?
Well, I think Robbie hit the nail on the head, actually. Is that if people do not even get on board with the moon landings with a joke, then if they absolutely think that that's real, then you've really got your work cut out. But basically, I just always, you know, if I go straight in, you know, to, you know, for the kill, and just bypass the moon, which I think is actually a very good starting point, actually, talking about that, and 9/11 and things like that. And Farmer is another thing. And for me, my pet one is 5G. But a lot of people don't understand that yet, and they're not going to understand it until it comes out, and even then they're not going to understand it. But you know, I have different approaches. You know, just, you know, saying that like I'm a flat earther, and they then just do their typical, oh really, and they're like shocked. And you say, well, out of interest, I'd be interested to hear what research you've done. And as you know, most of them, if not all of them that you speak to, haven't done any, but they just accepted what they've been given. But no, I think the moon, and Robbie mentioned it when we were at the convention, he just said that that's a very good one to start off with. And I do agree. And because see, the thing is, what I say to people is, let's say that space is real. Let's say the moon is real. Let's say you can land on the moon. We didn't land on the moon based on what we were shown, because the TV that we were shown, the footage was an absolute joke. But no, I think I like to go down the route of gauging where they are first. But what I find amazing is that when on the odd occasion I come across somebody who says, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think, yeah, I must be a flat earther then. It's quite a revelation, because it's very rare that it happens.
Yeah. In the time that you've been awake, have you seen any change in the public's perception of the mainstream media? You know, like how the mainstream media is reporting flat Earth. Oh,
it's massive now. It's massive compared.
Change. Can we show you an example of some of the changes in how they're reporting on the globe lying flat Earth? If that's all right. Is everyone all right with that? Chat room, are you okay with that? If you just bear with us for a second. We've got some bits and pieces that I think we'd be really kind of excited to show you. Rich, can you help me out on that, if that's all right, darling? We've got can we start off just by showing them something from the Globe Lie Tour foremost, and then I want to move it on to the kind of crap that they're pushing out to people on a daily basis, yeah? And what's worse is they believe it. That's what's worse, is they actually believe it. That's the horrible thing about it. Right, so here we are. We've got the Daily Post. stating that flat earth activists are out to expose the biggest lie of all in North Wales. Harry McDonald and Jason Disbury will visit Snowdon and Holyhead as part of a 56-stop UK tour. Do you notice the big CGI globe there, guys? I think they just did that for a little low blow. That I'm going to call that a below the belt blow. But you know, I say it's below the belt because they're using CGI. That's sad. That's sad. Yeah, we all know that that's not a legit image. Yeah. So,
no stars.
Yeah, no stars. It's just all you can see. The horizon lines all looking pixelated, and those straight. Move your mouse over those straight panels things that look like rectangles on the right hand side. You can see they're all warped. They're not a straight line. Oh, look at that. It's just saw looking. I'll just forget that, Rich. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, and what's worse still is the masses believe it. It's disgusting. Let's not even, it's just.
That's how the fishing is.
That's sad. That's sad.
It looks like they're in the water. It just looks like it's in water, and I
slightly get triggered. I don't know about anyone else, but I can feel my heart rate going up and me needing a punch bag.
You see how everything is turning. You see how the fisheye lens just got that curving too. Yeah. It's all in water. Then it hits you with the CGI. It's basically water underground.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's
I suppose that was the reporter's way of getting their own back on us, yeah, with their own.
You know what people don't realize is this has got to be during the day, right?
Mm.
When you're on the ground looking up, you don't see that.
No.
The only thing you see is blue sky, right? People don't realize this is all theater.
Yeah,
it's all theater.
Yeah,
and people believe this is real.
It's sad.
It doesn't rain upside down in Australia.
Oh, we know. It's bad, isn't it? It's bad. It's bad. That's why we have to wake people up, because this is what they believe. They believe it.
Right. And if you see buildings on a 45-degree angle, take pictures. And it better not be the Eiffel Tower. So this is the kind of nonsense that they give you.
Nonsense is a good word, Rich. I like that. Nonsense. It says a pair of flat earthers will visit North Wales as part of a UK tour to expose what they claim is the biggest lie of all. Harry McDonald, who created a YouTube channel under the name of John Smith Globeli, plans to visit 56 towns and cities with his friend Jason Disbury. As part of the tour, they'll visit Snowdon and Holyhead. Mr. McDonald, 60, has almost 6,500 subscribers on YouTube, and the channel's description gives more insight into his beliefs. It reads, I'm on a quest to expose the biggest lie of all. That is the lie of where we actually live. To me, the globe lie is a massive criminal act. All the children are being lied to, while NASA make 52 million a day for showing us cartoons. We believe what we are told as infants without any proof of the heliocentric model. But now as adults, we can engage our independent critical thinking and ask for proof. And then another little low blow with a blue marble image there. Big up Robert Simmons. Shout out Robert Simmons. During the tour, the pair will drive around in a camper van with a number of statements written on the side, including Earth is not a magical spinning ball with bendy water. Gravity has never been proven. Water cannot conform to the outside of a ball. NASA presents you with photoshopped images and they admit they're not photographs. And there are no real evidence of rockets or satellite in space. I'm telling you, if I had a pound for every time I said that, I could have done some bits by now.
Yeah.
The page describes the tour of the UK as a mission and encourages fellow flat earthers to meet up the pair to help expose the globe lie. His mission is to tell anyone and everyone that they've been lied to in the worst way and exposing the biggest criminal lie ever told. It reads, on his journey, he wants to meet with people that want to help evoke change and reform and expose the globe lie. So, with that being said, what's everybody's take on that? Gary, I'll start with you. Or Rich, yeah, Gary or Rich, I'm down.
No, I think that I have something quick to say. I think that was a pretty fair, article. You know, I think that was like it wasn't like biased. It doesn't seem like they were laughing at it. It seemed like
hey, the man himself's back in the room.
Yeah.
About you, or shall I say, reading about you?
Yeah, we're just reading an article from the UK about the Globe-Live tour, and I think the article was fair. I think it was fair. I think it was a fair read, and then it kind of it displayed what that the message that we're trying to convey.
Yeah, absolutely right. Sorry, and if anyone's in the chat room and I've missed questions, can you pop them in the chat room again in capitals, and I will pay attention to the chat room right now. And massive love and respect to everybody that's tuned in. Big loves to you all the moderators in the chat. D Marvel's in the chat. I have my FE offensive.
Shout out to the chat room. Yes, shout out D Marvel.
I got it on. We're doing FE offensive out here. FE offensive all day long.
Hi, Daryl.
And to everyone else in the chat room, massive love and respect. The only reason I'm kind of hurrying it up is because we're on a bit of a time constraint this evening. So I just wanted to give you all love. I'm sorry I haven't been paying attention to the chat room, but we wanted to get as much out in as quick time as possible this evening. But other than this evening, we will be back on Monday. But go on, carry on, Rich.
Yep. And my thing is, and then we'll go to Gary and ask him what his thing is. How do you feel about not having Jason on the tour with you, Harry?
Yeah, I feel I lost a twin brother. Yes. Yeah. Right. It's funny, It's me and Jason set off on his boat to do exactly the same thing 3 months ago, but that's exactly the same time a week. And for one thing or another, we had to abandon that. Now we're on the road. It comes a week, rise in the first week, but at least we can see beyond those problems, and we can see the tour will continue. But yeah, I miss him absolutely. It's great having him. I think it's more effective having two people there rather than one person out on the street.
It's like a companion. You don't got to do everything you yourself. You have someone to share the responsibilities.
Well, yeah, I rely so much on Jason for his knowledge and his technical ability. Yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah. I even have to ask Roxanne how to switch my phone off. Never mind more technical. Can I ask Richie, what article were you talking about there? It's news to me.
The article was written by the Daily Post.
Oh, it's that one. Yeah.
Flat Earth activists out to expose the biggest lie of all in North Wales.
All right. I was skeptical whether that actually go to print or not. So yeah.
No, it was good. It was a fair read. It looked like you basically said, "Here, print this," and that's exactly what they did. Mm-hmm. That's my take of fair news reporting. I don't know about you, Gary. What's your thought on that?
I think that, as always, when they sometimes say that bad publicity, there's no such thing as bad publicity. This obviously isn't bad, and it's basically it's one promoting, in an indirect way, it's promoting obviously what is going on. Also, it actually keeps putting it into the psyche of the individual who's reading it. And I don't know if any of you guys, on a side note, there was an article released recently. I think it was several thousand words from Esquire magazine. They did research with me. They then went to Mark Sargent. They went to the convention and in the UK. And they put out a big spread. And I know some people look at it, and I think some people are just not happy unless they're actually advocating that the Earth is flat. Some people actually think, I don't really like this because they're not saying that. Well, they're not. They're not going to do that because they've always got to protect their ass because of the fact that they've got to be careful. But I just think that the more times, like for instance, when Harry goes out and he does his interviews, when we get articles out there that are actually publicising the fact that flat Earth, it's getting slowly but surely into the psyche of people. So even though they may be dismissive, they're going to keep picking it up. Because how many people have you come across, Roxanne, who say, I'll keep seeing it for 6 months and I'll keep putting it down, and then all of a sudden I kept thinking, I've seen it so many times, I'm going to have to pick it up and have a look at what's this all about. And you don't know these people that are on the cusp of this now, that are just ready to do it, and it's because of the tour that John's doing. Harry, is doing in the Scotland, or because of what happened in Esquire magazine, or something happened in America, or whatever. The only thing that really winds me up is when idiots, globe idiots, actually then try to badge that we are saying, we're all meeting up, you know, and we got people turning up from around the, you know, the globe, and
yeah,
we haven't said that. Idiots have said that, and they're trying to badge us. That's the only time I find it winds me up.
Quick question, Gary. I've had a question for you in the chat room. It says from Steve Fowler, how is it? Is Amsterdam still going on?
I've got to be honest, at this moment, it's not. We have Didi and I. There's two things that happened. One is we hit some major financial headaches, and so at this moment, it's not on the cards. And two, and independently of each other, both Didi and I were out talking to the other person. It just happened naturally. We just became both burnt out. I mean, I got burnt out financially. I also got burnt out energy-wise, because I was putting so much time in that my business suffered and other things suffered. So it's a hell of a lot. I don't quite know how Robbie does it. I've got to be honest. I take my hat off to him, but it took a lot out of me, and it wore me out really.
Okay, thank you for
loved it, but I loved it. But it's just but that's nothing. I'm sorry, Steve. At this moment, there's nothing happening that's tangible, I'm afraid.
Okay, but you know what? Hopefully, Gary, we'll have you back on with us again at some stage, and if
absolutely.
Stages, you'll
I want to pick his brain too as well.
The grounds.
You won't get much out of me. That take all of 6 seconds, but no, I'm always happy to contribute. And if people think I got something to add, then great, I'll come on. And
I'll tell you what. Let me ask you a quick question: is there other subjects that you look into other than the fact that you live on a spinning ball? Quick yes or no.
Apart from that, I live on a spinning ball.
I'm saying, do you look into other subjects that have something to do with the lie?
Like
oh yeah. I mean, for me, the big one is 5G. Yeah, technology.
So you have something to add to connecting the dots. This is what we're trying to do with connecting the dots. We need as much dots connected as possible.
And also pharma is another big one, isn't it? But for me, 5G. The thing about 5G is it's coming. And so we're in the middle of like 4G now, but 5G is literally on the cusp. So for me, it's a big one. Smart meters, 5G, you name it. It's a real big no-no. And I'm trying to make sure that people are aware on how dangerous it is. And I'm worried that a lot of people are going to have their eyes shut when it comes out.
Well, we need to make as many people aware as possible. Rich, do we have any time to add any more news in? What's our time?
We got about 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. So I think tell you what we'll do. We'll jump straight to the most latest thing I've seen all week. Me personally, I personally still can't get over the insanity of this news story about the space debris. Harry was with me in Covent Garden alongside everybody who's Mind Controlled Squared and his brother. We were outside of one designer shop. And this is why this article hit home with me, because as far as I'm concerned, this article encapsulates exactly what the Burberry manager said when he came outside the shop. He said, I've seen space debris with my own eye. And we went, really? You've seen space debris with your own eye, have you? No, I've seen it with through the satellites. Satellites don't exist. Well, you know, I've seen it through a telescope. You know what a telescope is, don't you? And with that, he ran back up into the shop because he knew he had nothing left to say. So when I looked at this article, I said to myself, now look at this, Space Watch floating space junk captured, right? Basically what they're trying to say to us is they've sent something up there to capture a simulated piece of debris so that they can create this little phishing networks up there. Yeah, so if you want to scroll down a little bit, it says Surrey Space Centre scheme for removing orbiting debris successfully nets test junk. So you think test junk? What are we talking about here? What kind of crap? So Rich, if you could just play this video for everyone, that'd be great.
Yeah, it seems about like 20 seconds.
Only like 20 seconds, yeah. It's just, this is what they're trying to proclaim is being done, yeah? All CGI. None of that's real, yeah? You can see that clearly, okay? What a crock of crap, yeah? Look at that. Pixelated dots everywhere, guys. Little grey dots.
Yeah, that's what I want you to believe is real.
Can't show us a real image.
Look at the net.
Just remember, a real image here of any debris. You're not being shown any real footage. No real footage.
It's taken by the Hubble. Yeah, it's taken by the Hubble.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It says a satellite launched from the International Space Station has caught a piece of simulated space junk by ensnaring it into the net. Co-funded by the European Commission, the 100-kilogram removed debris satellite was launched to the station in April as cargo on a supply mission. It was deployed from the station in June, and on the 16th of September began its experimental phase. It launched a small object to act as a dead satellite, and a few seconds later, it fired a net at it. The net unfired, and it caught up and then wrapped itself around the object. The extra mass and the net provides it helped drag the object down into Earth's atmosphere, where it will burn up. Guys, was that making sense to you? Or was it a bit long-winded? I'm just being honest with you. Even a script writer would say, can we just not narrow that down a little bit? That is a bit of a long story. Guys, long story alert.
Sheer comedy.
Just like Jack and Ori was, yeah.
Yeah, it is. This is expected to happen in the next few weeks. Space debris is an urgent problem. Collisions with it can destroy functioning satellites, and we cannot have that, can we, guys?
Right.
Space agencies around the world are therefore developing techniques to remove old satellites and other pieces of junk from orbit. Okay, this is serious now. Okay,
just more.
This project, like the Surrey Space Centre, and that's what hit bone with me. I went to the Surrey Space Centre, on my doorstep, yeah, at the Surrey University.
Just more fear mongering, isn't it?
It is.
Well, you know what's crazy, Harry? You know what's crazy, Harry? Somebody got paid to write this nonsense.
Lunacy.
But if you think about it, what they have to do, if they do the big projects like Mars, and they're going to do, they're going to do the big long space probes or whatever, and they also do the local stuff like the debris, because that then consolidates that there's 1 space, 2 there's debris, 3 there's satellites, 4 that they're out there busy spending their money. And what it is, a lot of the people who are brainwashed are just going to take that on board and say, oh, it must be real then.
Right.
And that's what they're accepting.
Right.
It's just a joke.
Right. I mean, big time.
A big joke, a big fat joke.
Yeah.
And what's worse is they insult people's intelligence daily with this crap, and then lap it up. And then
but Roxanne, the biggest lack of intelligence though is to do with the Tesla car. I mean, how can anyone look at that footage and think that's real?
It's insane. It's insane. We've had people on the Connecting the Dots this week that have told us it was after that came out that some people came back to them and went, listen, got something with that.
I just want to make a mention about that. The thing is, did they deliberately put out something that looks so much of a joke that they're thinking that, like for instance, sometimes they're saying about the SEX in the cloud, when they do like the globe, the alleged globe, they write little things in the cloud and whatever. But have they done a joke Tesla footage? Because they're basically saying that, even though there is a lot of movement with a flat Earth, we can still put out this rubbish and people buy it. And I just wonder, is that what they're doing? They don't feel they need to up their game, or are they upping their game in another way but more subtle? Because the whole Tesla thing, it just looked incredibly bad that I just can't believe they did that. I'm a little bit shocked. Really.
It seems like they're doubling down on this nonsense. Space Force. Come on.
That was recent, wasn't it?
I just think it's just they're doubling down. And if you notice lately, I don't know if because we're woke and we didn't notice this before, but there's a whole lot. It's just extra, just overwhelming, more space stuff.
I agree. It's so dumbing down that I think we've been divided now to about those who believe so easily and so readily to acquiring minds that are not satisfied with CGI and images and theories. And intelligence isn't satisfied with that. It needs more substance and more proof. So many people see CGI in a cartoon and think, "Oh, I accept that. I believe that." Right?
Right.
It's just so readily believed.
It's a religion. You're in a religion and you don't even know it. Because if you believe you live on a spinning ball of water, hurling through space at ridiculous speeds around the sun, that's supposedly 93 million miles away, and you hold that to be true, you're in a damn religion.
Okay, I believe you, Richie.
Yeah, you sold me. Wow. Where do I sign?
Exactly.
Makes sense to me.
You know what? I want to ask you a question that me and Rich have been asking everybody on Connecting the Dots. And if you've been on Connecting the Dots before, it's not a one-time question. You can answer it multiple times. because it's one of those kind of questions. So I'm going to start with you, Gary, because we haven't asked you before. It can be to do with you or to do with the truth or the globe lie, whatever you want it to be. Can you tell us something? Rich, do you want to finish it?
Tell us something that we don't know, Gary. Tell us something that we don't know.
Try not to do it rude. You caught me there because I'm thinking, what can I say that I can get away with? Something we don't know. Okay. Holly Willoughby's got a big bum. That probably isn't quite what you wanted to hear.
For the UK viewers, that's the girl that's on the morning. The girl that you were on. You were on. Right? Was she on when you were on there?
Yeah, her and Phil.
Secretly, that's how you know you were looking, innit?
I mean, one thing I will add on that though is I'm quite pleased that, including the 2 million viewers that watched it at the time, and I'm not sure, I haven't looked lately, but I think it's around about 3.3 million views. So it means even though they're not going to be independent people, because obviously some people watch it more than once, but it's now at 5.3 million views, which I think, who's the basketball player? I've forgotten his name. I've lost track.
Kylie Urban.
That's it. I think his video is something in the rounds of something similar. So I would say that that's probably one of those two, you know, the interview and also the actual his thing are probably the 2 most watched things ever. So for that, so something I know, I suppose, is kind of that, but that's a bit silly, really, for me to actually use that one. But yeah, so Holly Willoughby's bum is probably number 1, and the other one is the views count is number 2.
Oh.
I'm clutching at straw. The other thing is ITV asked me back about a month ago. I couldn't make it, I was working, but they wanted me to talk about the conspiracy theorists of the moon. So I'd love to have gone on there for that, but I just wasn't around. So, but no, I haven't really got anything to add on that front. So I do apologise that I've given you a lightweight answer, really.
No, Gary, we're gonna have you come back, man. We appreciate you taking the time out and coming on. I would love to have you back on the board or a panel in the future.
No, that'd be great if you want that. That'd be lovely. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And Harry, I'm not going to ask you that question because I only asked you it the other day. I'm going to ask you a different question, as sensitively as I can possibly ask, because there's people in the chat room that are asking, what can you give us an update? How is Jason? Have you spoken to him? Is he okay? Can you give us as much of a synopsis on how he is? Everyone's just asking how he is. How's Jason?
Yeah, I've been quite heartened by how many people are asking about Jason. So, yeah, I just spoke to him before I came on the Hangout. Yeah, he's tired. You know, I think it's taking a lot out of him and the rest of the family members just caring for his mum.
Right.
But he's holding up well, and can't be easy. You know, I think it has a mental strain on him. So. He's still in regular contact with me, which is good. And I wouldn't say he's upbeat, but I think he's dealing with it. He's managing it. You know,
right.
It's not much you can say about it other than he's just getting on with it and doing what he has to do to look after his mum during this time. Well,
I want you to let him know that we're all thinking of him. Yeah. And that we're
absolutely
possible.
If he's got time, he'll be watching now. So
in our prayers too, exactly, Jason. In our prayers, we got you in our thoughts and prayers.
All right, my darlings. Well, we're going to wrap it up for tonight because we are on a little bit of a time constraint. Moving forward, Fridays are going to be a little bit earlier, and if they aren't earlier, they're going to be a little bit shorter. So we're going to try and make sure we put it back.
Roxanne, Roxanne, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do want to ask Harry a question. What time are we looking to go live? Or you got that already set up for tomorrow? Or are you just playing it by ear? I mean, what's going on with that before we let everybody go?
Yeah, well, I think external forces is going to stop me. Saturday and Sunday is going to be a torrential 2 days.
Yeah, rain coming down.
But I was making plans for Monday, but if I can do anything over the next 2 days, I will. But
hey, you know what? Safety comes first. You know, if you got safety comes first. Because let me tell you something. that rain and that torrential water is no joke. So yeah, safety comes first. It's not, you know, we want to make sure people are out there to talk to. You don't want to be standing there looking real crazy, talking about the earth is flat and there's real rain. I mean, it may put you in a rubber room, so we don't want that to happen. So,
yeah. So it looks like I'll be on hold till Monday, but if there's an opportunity I can see, then I will the weekend. But,
okay, so maybe over the weekend, maybe what could we maybe expect? Maybe some uploads over the weekend? Is that a possibility?
Yes.
Yeah.
For something we already have.
I think Jason through his son's computer shop has been uploading the videos for me.
Nice.
The first one that we did is causing an awful lot of problems to upload. So
right.
Jason's uploading it at the present moment, and I'm just checking to see how well it's doing. It gets to the end and it just seems to crash, you know. So I'm just look.
Okay, so we'll watch this space. If you haven't already, click the link and subscribe to John Smith Globalized channel. Hit the notification bell, and if something is uploaded over the weekend, you'll be the first to know.
Yeah, well, this one's been uploading all day, and it's only at 44%. So.
Okay. I've also put the links for how to donate in the description box as well. We've got PayPal, GoFundMe, and we've got Patreon as well, I believe. Yeah, Patreon.
Also too is Roxanne. I don't know if you know, Harry. We had Mark Sargent on last night.
Yeah.
I literally asked him for $1,000. So
I heard, yes.
He said he's going to see what he can do.
We told him to send us a sticker saying "I love Mark Sargent."
Something, whatever. We're gonna find a place for it on the truck.
Put it on there. Stick it on
we asked him for it, so we'll see what's going on.
Watch this space.
Absolutely. I heard another big
as well, isn't he, Rich? We want to invite him to the tour hangout one time and get you guys to link up.
Exactly, actually, to kind of like meet up with him and stuff like that. So I think he was really excited about that. So we'll see. I'll chat with him and see where.
Well, just a huge thank you to everybody who's donated, and it's just helped us out so much.
Nice.
Thank you all for all your donations.
Nice. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. And
so,
again, shout out for John THOR for putting that connected dots. Just so you guys know, I reached out to him because I didn't have the time to do it myself, and he came through for us on time. Amazing. It was way better than I even expected it. Thanks, John THOR. His link is also in the description as well to subscribe to his channel. If you're not subscribed to John THOR, you're missing out.
Excellent videos.
I think second to none. Some of them are wonderful. So yeah, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. We want to appreciate all your time that you've given us this evening, Harry. Especially you're on the roads, you're having charging issues, power issues, and you've managed to keep yourself running, and I massively appreciate that. Also, big up yourself for today going on the live. Yeah, give yourself a serious pat on the back for that. Yeah, that was monumental. The fact that you got an hour's content out in Penzance today, despite all the hurdles and guys, I could probably sit here for another hour and tell you all the hurdles this guy was facing, and I still wouldn't have enough time to tell you what's going on behind the scenes of this tour right now. Not in a bad way, just in a whole, you wouldn't be doing this unless you had the passion for it, because there's a lot of hurdles that have to be over. You only have to use your imagination for a slight bit and say, look, 5 or 6 problems come up, what are you going to do? You're going to keep moving forward, and that is exactly what this tour is doing. I said to Mark Sargent yesterday, we've started, so we will finish. Yeah, it's not going to be stopped. Nothing's going to stop this tour. Yeah, no amount of hurdles are going to stop it. So Harry, I want to take my hat off to you, because you're doing the truth and admirable service. You really are. And
we got your back. We got your back, man. We got your back, Harry.
Well, we all are. It's one big team effort, as you said earlier.
Yeah, absolutely,
big time. So we're going to watch out to see if we can possibly link up earlier on the Monday, but we'll keep in contact over the weekend, and we'll try and let you guys know through Flat Earth News and Reports. The link for that's in the description. We'll try and keep you updated to there. You've got FESTART in the description. You've got Flat Earth 101 in the description. You've got the Flat Earth podcast. Shout out to David Weiss for his donation for the Flat Earth tour as well. So it's a one-stop shop. The description box is literally a one-stop shop. Go help yourself. Those links are free. Go click away. It's all simple.
Yes. Also, too, if you want to keep up to date to what's going on, make sure you like on Facebook, Flat Earth News and Reports. That's where all the up-to-date links, tour dates, and everything. You can catch it there.
So we'll be back on Monday. I want you to go and live your true lives over the weekend. Go and live your life in truth. Go have it up. Have an awesome weekend. We'll be back with more Globe Live Tour UK on Monday. And we'll be back with more Connecting the Dots, Activism and Group Monday. Watch out for Monday. Monday's going to be an interesting mix of people, yeah? It's going to be a real interesting mix of people. A lineup of special guests to be confirmed. Watch out for the live link. And once again, thank you. Anything you guys want to say before we go off?
Just thank you very much to everybody watching in the chat and everybody who's donated, as I said before. Absolutely fantastic effort. Thank you all.
Good. Gary, my darling, thank you so much for being on the panel this evening.
Thanks for having me on.
I think you had about 8 minutes notice.
I did.
I want to massively appreciate your time for this. But we'll definitely have you back on for more time to help us connect the dots. Like I said, there's things you're looking into, and that would really help us in putting the dots together with what we're doing. 5G, pharma, I'm all into that. I'm looking quite a lot into pharma because I'm quite into the Trilateral Commission. So you can imagine the amount of roads that leads me off on.
Would I be able to have literally 30 seconds just to put a suggestion out to everyone that something I'd love to us to consider? One of the things that happened at the convention is it was actually Dave. It was Dave Manu actually suggested about having an open mic session, and we did that on the Friday night, and it was an amazing. Anyone that's on the panel in the chat that actually were there on the Friday, I thought it was amazing. What I would love is if we were to try and get together next year, where we could have a group gathering. I would just love to have a situation where, away from the activism side, but when we just literally have a get together, is that maybe try to repeat an open mic where basically everyone can get a chance to stand up and spend 30 seconds or a minute or 2 or 3 minutes, talk about anything they want to talk about within Flat Earth. And I just found it was so powerful that I think it's something that needs to be developed. And I would like to actually see if there's interest with that.
Yeah, sign me up. Chat room, what do you think about that? Flat Earthers, stand up. Globe deniers, stand up and be heard and be counted. Let's get this in the works. That sounds awesome, Gary. Let's talk more about that.
It worked in the past, and I can see how it had a lot of mileage, a lot of legs.
That we need to do, right? Instead of all just learning from our mistakes, we need to learn from our successes and carry that on and make them better. So I'm down for that, Gary. Definitely.
And also, I think what you guys are doing on this show, you're obviously connecting to a lot of people like Mark Sargent, Robbie Davison, other people. What John Harry's doing with his tour, what you're doing on connecting the dots. It sounds brilliant. So I'm glad to be associated with you guys because you're doing a good job.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, no, massive love to you, Gary. I really appreciate you saying that. And I think the only way is forward with this. I think let's just keep putting one foot forward in front of the other and trying to be as inclusive and as humiliative as possible with people.
That's right.
And as long as we've got our egos in the boot, I think forget them going in the back seat because then they become backseat drivers, and that's not a good thing. So I think as long as we keep our egos in the boot, which is I think by leading by example and just trying to put this forward to people and get it out to the masses in the best way possible. Whilst leading normal lives in the background, I think that's very important as well. And what I mean by normal life is still spending the time doing the things that are important to us. So I want to stress that to everyone as well. You can know the truth, speak about the truth, and still be happy. Yeah. You can still be happy. I don't know why my camera's off. Sorry. You can still be happy. Yeah. All right, my darlings. Massive love and respect to yous. Massive love and respect to the chat room. I don't know what happened to Harry's connection, but big love to you, Harry, out in the camper van. And we will be back with more lives with the Globe Live Tour on Monday and connecting the dots later on Monday evening. All right, guys. Massive love to you too.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Richard. Nice to meet you, mate. It's really nice.
Yep. Nice meeting you, Gary.
Richard Lopez, do you know what I'm going to end this on? I'm going to end it on hashtag FE offensive. If you don't know, go get to know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.